Hello everybody. Hope you all are doing well. I'm Kajuju and this is a deck check. I'll be giving you straight up gameplay and impressions of how well each of the various games work through the Steam Deck, as well as how the controls feel, what settings I had to use to get the game to run smoothly, and whether I personally would prefer to play this game on my PC or the Steam Deck. I won't be doing any sort of deep dive into the performance or hardware of the Steam Deck itself. I will leave the performance overlay on for the FPS for you to observe as we go through this deck check. Timestamps are provided for you to get straight to the part that you are interested in, so be sure to check that, especially if you just want to see gameplay with no commentary. So, let's get started. The game we are checking out is Monster Hunter Stories 2. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is a turn-based game set in the world of Monster Hunter. You are not a hunter, but a rider. You fight alongside your monster companion in this epic story. Monster Hunter Stories 2 released in July 2021 on both the Switch and on Steam. So I'll make some comments on my Steam Deck experience in comparison to my Switch and to my desktop PC. At the time of this recording, the game's deck compatibility status is unknown, which means Valve is still learning about this title. They do not currently have any further information regarding the Steam Deck's compatibility for this game. Now, this could just mean that they haven't done the process of verifying this game yet. So let's dive right into this game. This should come to no surprise, but there is full controller support. The game can be played with a mouse and keyboard, but it is designed for controllers, which is really good for the Steam Deck because that just means it works straight out of the box. Now, this game does not have an official controller layout like some verified games, but the default recommended layout, which is the gamepad with joystick trackpad, works perfectly. There really isn't much for me to say or to show in this section since it just works. I haven't felt any need to adjust the controls on the Steam layout, and neither have I stumbled up on the controls while playing. Monster Hunter Stories 2 has 3 different graphic options with very little customization. I spent some time testing all 3 out by wandering the world and seeing how much the FPS changes during combat. I'll show you how the game looks on high, medium, and low graphics settings. We'll start at the entrance of the first village and walk out to see how much the FPS changes to a much larger area. I did not include battle footage for this comparison since it was all marginally the same. It was about 50 to 60 FPS with a couple seconds of dips below 50 FPS on very quick animations. Here we have the high graphics settings. Here we have the medium graphic settings. Here we have the low graphic settings. And here are my preferred settings, which are just the high settings with low shadows. Having high shadow settings seems to be the biggest toll on the game, so setting it to low or even medium will make the high graphic settings feel a lot more playable. Something I noticed is when I first load into an area, I get FPS around 30. But give it a few seconds and you'll be able to get about 50 to 60 FPS. So something in the game is happening in the background when you first load into an area. I can't exactly tell you what it is for sure, but when it finishes loading, I don't experience much dip in FPS while wandering the zone. On my desktop PC, the game runs very smoothly, but on the Switch, it looks to struggle even to keep a consistent 30 FPS, especially in cutscenes. The Switch's performance was so unbearable that I had to switch to the desktop version. The Steam Deck does not run the game as well as my desktop PC, but it was so much better than playing on the Switch version. One thing I did notice is that the game does not have a resolution of 1280 by 800, which could affect its potential verified status. It does have 1280 by 720, which isn't terrible, but it leaves some black margins at the top and bottom of the screen. So hopefully they updated the game to support the Steam Deck's native resolution. Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Steam Deck is fantastic. I'm not sure why it doesn't have a verified status, but it could be that it just hasn't been through the process yet. But the controls feel smooth and the Steam Deck can run the game at 60 FPS. The one error I see in the game is the lack of native resolution for the Steam Deck. It has 1280 by 720 but leaves some unused spaces at the top and bottom of the Steam Deck. You won't see it in this recording since my capture card captures 1280 by 720 without any gaps. The most noticeable feature is Steam Cloud Save. Something I really disliked was the lack of cross-save between Switch and PC. But with the Steam Deck, you can just connect to your Steam Cloud Save and play on either your desktop PC or on the Steam Deck on the same save file. I played through the entire story of Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Switch and on the desktop PC, and after trying it out on the Steam Deck, I kind of feel that I want to do a third run through of the game, especially since I got burned out after finishing the story a second time. So I missed out on some of the later content they added. If I hadn't played the game before on Switch and on my desktop PC, I would prefer to have played the game on the Steam Deck instead. I enjoy playing the Switch version on the go, and I enjoy the smooth frame rates on the desktop PC. Steam Deck is just the pros of both the Switch and my desktop PC. Let me know in the comments down below if you think otherwise, or if I missed anything you'd like to see for the next video. If there's a specific game you'd like for me to try out, feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments as well. I'll leave some gameplay after this outro for you to watch if you just want to see gameplay without any commentary. I also want to make a note that I do have a full playthrough of Monster Hunter Stories 2 on my channel if you're interested in watching. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.
freeze.